A best practice protocol that sets an industry standard allows you to provide a consistent quality of treatment every time, helping you reduce callbacks and improve your customer satisfaction. So, what does a best practice protocol include? Jeff Einem and Neville Hedge from Bayer talk us through a best practice protocol for spiders. The first step is to identify the pest, where they are located and why they're there. Neville Hedge gives some insights on how to manage our clients' expectations.
Okay, Jeff, we're going to do an external spider treatment. There's a couple of very, very important things that we need to think about here. Number one, what sort of spiders have we got around this place? What is the client concerned with? Funnel webs, trapdoors, redbacks, black house spiders, the little grey spider. There's heaps of them, as you know. And what is their expectation? Do they not want to see one spider for a year? And if you tell the client that and you give them a 12-month warranty, that's what they expect. So, and another important thing is when the booking is made, perhaps, the staff should tell the client not to hose the house down. Don't knock down all those webs. Personally, I want them there. I want the infestation there, so I'll kill them. And then I'll take the chance, obviously, to talk with the client about what she should expect. Not to see a spider for 1 year is a very, very big call. So you have to tell the client that. Otherwise, you'll be back every second week and you'll set a tent up in the yard.
So where are these spiders coming from? How's it occurring?
Well, they balloon. The little grey house spider, it's called ballooning. They could come from, depending which way the wind's blowing, they could come from half a kilometre away. Or neighbours or shrubs. So they just come onto the house, or as I say, they're always there, and the little egg sac, if you've ever seen one, I'm sure you have, there's hundreds in there. And up they come on the house, so how do they die? If your residual works, that's fine, which temperate does, but if they're webbing spiders up in the surfeiting and not even touching the surface, they're not going to die.
No, even if it's chemical, they're not going to come in contact, are they?
That's right. So anyway, that to me is the most important thing about external spider treatments.
The approach for the control of spiders in domestic situations looks like this. The objective is to control existing spiders and prevent pest harbourage.
Okay, Nev, we might go to the next step now and talk about what we're going to actually do. I see we've got a bucket of Coupex here for spider control. What are we going to do with that?
Probably nothing, Jeff. I might sit on it.
I'm relieved about that, but yeah.
You don't put dust out in the open air and it blows everywhere. Useless, does nothing. You may put it in a few chamfer board home where you see the big spider webs there, but I'd still use liquid for that. So I'd probably leave that in my vehicle. Go straight in with your liquid only.
Yep, well, this sounds like a good treatment already.
The treatment of spiders, external walls, gutters, feeding, sills, like they're external areas. And that's where you have to concentrate your treatment. And that's when you use your tempered. With a wand to get into those little cracks and crevices where they are, broadband spray of all brickwork, surfeiting, guttering, sills, extensions. You get extensions to get your product up there. The good thing about tempered is you don't need to hose the house down. It's the last thing you do with tempered is start hosing it down. You may with other products perhaps, but no, not tempered. You just use it sparingly, not sparingly, but do the job without wasting it, particularly with cracks and crevices.
Well, that's the thing, Nev. When you use a product like tempered where you've got confidence, you put it only where you need to put it. With products where you haven't got that level of confidence and you're not paying so much for the product, you tend to put a lot out and you waste all the savings that you've made.
Use tempered 75 residual insecticide to knock down any webbing spiders and prevent spiders re-inhabiting cracks and crevices. Neville Hedge from Bayer shows us how to carry out an external treatment of spiders.
This being a chamfer home, I will put an application of chemical on the whole wall, just to the point of runoff. If there's little cracks and crevices here with webbing, I'd put the nozzle right in there. Treat as you move. None of this business. Treat as you move, keeping your wand parallel to your surface. You don't turn your motor up to try and get more height. That's all you do is create more drift. So if anything, turn your motor down a bit. By doing 3 runs down this one wall, it means you're getting your product to where you want it. If you stand back with just a cone jet and hose the wall down, you will use 140 litres, which is a complete waste. This treatment here is much neater, and as I said before, you get your product to where you want it. On the rear deck here, I would be treating underneath the patio furniture. Great spot for redback spiders. But this wall here, I'd be able to accomplish a decent treatment here to the point of runoff just with one extension. There's an 18-inch extension with a spray wand, which would get me up to nearly the top. And then I'd just change my nozzle to a cone jet. Stand close, and that would get me up into the soffits, plus the gutter. There's no need for any extra extensions here. This is what I explained to the homeowner from the outset as a prerequisite, marking these windows. You can see I can easily get at this. I can do a treatment very comfortably with my wand without getting any drift on those windows at all. I'm close enough to see if there's any spider infestation there. If there's not, I wouldn't touch it. Just continue along your wall, back along here. Once again, don't touch anything there. Treat around the perimeter, up here. So there's no chance of getting anything on those windows, and it's not necessary. And the thing to remember, with your crack and crevices, you change your nozzle to a cone jet, a pin stream, and make sure you're treating those areas there. It's a hollow, and you will certainly get your black house spiders in there. But once again, I would need my cone jet to get up into those soffits. A pencil stream up into those soffits, which is slatted, and there will be spiders up in there. And a good chance black ants. This is an external railing on the deck, and you'll note under here there is a cavity under there, so you do need to treat it. Not much point in getting chemical on the top here, but I would certainly be treating along under here, like so, and in particular in these cracks here where your decking is touching your chamfers, so there's gaps in here. Absolutely perfect spot for black house spiders.
Neville Hedge gives some critical advice on how to get control of spiders on external building surfaces.
The secret for spider control is getting the chemical onto the spider. Don't rely on a spider coming out of the web and touching it because it's treated. Don't rely on that being enough chemical to kill that spider. Most likely it is not. Now, a situation I'd like to point out at this particular place are these weep holes. Now, these weep holes are obviously notorious for spiders. You can see them there. There's one here, there's one there, there's one here. There's a spider over here. You'd probably get him with your spray wand quite comfortably. But as far as getting him, you'd need to get the chemical right into that weep hole. Don't rely on the spider coming out, as I said. Here's another situation on this conduit. The spider is right in there, and that is a black house spider. So you just can't put a spray over that web and hope he comes out and dies. You need to get your nozzle right in there and treat it, and that will work. So I'd just like to finish by saying the spider treatment is getting chemical on the spider or he will not die.
Neville Hedge discusses with Jeff Einem how to approach treating spiders inside the home.
Jeff, quite often we're faced with a client saying they've got a lot of spiders inside. Maybe not a lot, but some. My comment there to the client is, okay, I'm going to treat the external walls for you, get rid of the infestation inside, which will certainly minimise the infestation inside here for you.
Yep.
But we know that we've got to be very, very, very careful not to mark things. Once you start spraying internally for spider control, even water will mark a wall.
Exactly.
So you've got to be very, very careful.
Merv, you've been sent out on a job this morning to treat this home for spiders. What's the first thing you would do when you get to the site?
Well, g'day Brett, nice talking to you. The first thing I would do is to obviously introduce myself and my company to the client, and I'd establish just what she wanted done. She's made a call for spiders, which is, it's a very broad statement. So I'd determine what her problem was. What are they, webbing spiders, an odd whitetail maybe, trapdoors, daddy long legs, redbacks. I'd determine just what her problem was, and then we'd get that set. Once I've established what her problem is, I would then discuss with her what her expectations were. And you and I both know very well that some people don't want to see a spider. Some people are quite happy. An odd webbing spider might reappear, that's fine. But that would determine on my service frequency. If her expectation is never to see a spider, well, that changes drastically from my approach to how often I might turn up. But if she's happy, the webbing spider is not such a huge problem, well, I'd give her a 12-month service warranty. But it's important to establish what she expects of your treatment.
And to see if you can meet that expectation. So what you're saying is you're outlining, what limitations might be involved with your treatment on a home.
Correct, and I'll just include there, Brett, fence lines. We get colour bond fences in most areas in Australia have them, and they're notorious for redback spider infestations and black house spiders. Is that her problem? And I should point that out. And during my inspection of the premises, I do note these areas and bring it to her attention that I should treat those fences if that's what she wants done.
Yep, certainly. Is there any safety precautions you would sort of initiate prior to electing to treat those fences?
Certainly, because there's going to be drift. We all have to worry about wind. If we're going to spray, there's what's over the neighbour's side. There might be a pool there. She might be hanging out her washing.
An aviary or a fish pond or...
Yeah, exactly. So we need to decide that before we start the pump.